Hey everybody, Oliver Joyce from Whiskey Barrel Studios here with Spartacus Game Developer Update 4. 4! Alright, so it's now a month into development. Time really does fly, and sometimes it can be kind of scary because you look at your screen and you think, my god, I've barely done anything and there's still so much more to do. But then other days you look at it and go, man, progress is actually moving quite fast, so it's a little column A, a little column B. This last week has been spent mainly getting the little UI stuff working, the little heart bar, which is kind of like the health bar in Zelda when you get hit. It goes down and down and down with little hearts and quarter hearts and that kind of thing. I've also been adding in traps to the game, and there are two kinds of traps at the moment, spike traps and razor doors. So I'm going to show you both in today's developer video update. It's a fairly short video today. I've been working on a bunch of different things, but not all of them are ready to show. We're going to have a quick look at something else in the video, but that isn't quite ready. What you'll see, is not the finished version. We don't have any dynamic lighting in the game yet. It's working, but I want to share that with you later as well. It actually makes the game look really cool too. All right, let us jump over to Unity, and I'll show you what I've been up to. So here we are in our Unity scene, and as you can see, this is the current level layout. It sort of changes week to week as I kind of experiment and play with various sandbox items. I call the level a sandbox, basically. You can see here the spikes. The spikes are in the game now, and they're actually tileable. So if you go to the spikes here, you can actually adjust the size of them. So you can have a whole row of spikes. It would be too far for him to jump over. And what happens when our hero Spartacus lands on the spikes, he takes some damage. What else have we got? We have our, should go to the game. We have our actual health bar up here. There's our portrait of Spartacus, and there's our health bar. You can have up to 10 hearts in the game. You'll be able to find little heart pieces like Castlevania kind of style, hidden behind walls and things, but that's not coming for quite a while. You start off the game with 3. That blue bar is like a power-up bar, but that is unskinned at the moment, just a quad. Okay, so what we'll do, we also have a ladder here, which I showed you ladders last week. We also have razor doors, and what these are, if you've seen Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom, actually the third one, the Last Crusade, where they have those blades that go over the head. This is similar to that, but on a vertical level. Also similar to the Phantom Menace, the scene with Darth Maul and Obi-Wan, where there's the doors blocking them. But the most inspiration for these razor doors comes from a game from the 80s called Prince of Persia. And you may have seen the Jake Gyllenhaal movie, which was, it was alright, it wasn't amazing. And you may have played the later 3D version of this game, but the original had these really cool razor doors, which were quite terrifying. And we will load up the animation of the razor doors so I can show you how they work. So, this is a razor door in action. If you look down here, you'll see you have a small window to get through it. It's usually actually a small window where you can get hit, the opposite. There is only 5 frames in this animation, but there's also a another one which you can see here. Oh, that's my tile map. The razor door has a bloody frame, so when you hit, it goes splat. And I'm going to make that even more gory with some particle effects and so on later. And these razor doors are cool because they have timers on them. So I've made it so there's a delay between when it starts and a delay in between how long the doors stay open and closed. So this one has 1.5, that one has a 0.5 delay, and that one has a delay of 1. So which means this one will go da, da, da. So it'll kind of open and close in sequence. And then finally over here, what we also have is water. And that was the secret thing I'm going to show you. There's some spikes down there. And that's kind of cool. The water has a nice shimmery effect when you go underneath it, but it's not behaving as nicely as it should. So I only put that in yesterday afternoon. It's not really working very well. There's not going to be much water in this game because I find water can be quite tricky for the players to navigate and doesn't always control that well. So I'll either have water that slows you down a bit but you don't move too much, or I'll have it working nicer, but we'll see. All right, there is a background image to this game, but I'm not going to put it into the game at the moment. I'll show you that later. It just shows a blue background at the moment. So let's play. Here is our hero Spartacus, of course. We'll zoom in a bit for you. So what if I actually I want to show you more of the game. So we go free aspect. Okay. That kind of hides the health bar, which is a bit annoying, but you can see more of the game. All right, so here we are running around. You've got your attack, run, duck, look up, look down as normal. Here's our spikes. When you hit the spikes, bam, he takes damage. And if I go back to the retro pixel style, you can see he's lost a heart. If we do that again, he's taking more damage. And he gets a little bit of a knockback as well. Ah, he's dead. And he'll respawn back at the beginning. So I'll show you that in the... Ow. Takes a bit of... and he's invulnerable for like a tiny fraction of time. And I'll be playing around with the damage spikes doing so on. Ladders, of course, you saw in the last video. You go down the ladder fast and up the ladder slowly. Here are our spike traps. All right. So if we go back to that free aspect, you can zoom in. Right. So the moment they're actually they're not working on a delay, which is weird. I thought they were. I must have stuffed it up. They should go in sequence, but this should be fairly easy to get through. 1, 2. I'll show you what happens if you die. Spiked, dead. So that's kind of cool. It's a nice little trap for Spartacus to have to navigate. Climb up again. I've actually got a little a debug spawn point that allows me to sort of spawn anywhere over here, which I can show you. So let's run through them. And here we have the water. Excuse the frame rate in the game. We're in the editor mode now, so it's not as smooth as it should be. I'll show you how smooth it will be running in the build mode soon. But there's the water, has a nice little shimmer effect on it. And if we dive into the water, there he is swimming underwater, and he's got a little shimmer. I'm still playing around with speed of how fast he can swim and that kind of thing. And you'll probably have a breath counter because you shouldn't stay down there too long. Beneath the screen is actually some spikes. So he took some damage there, but you can't see them because they're actually below the level bounds. Okay, so there we are for this week's update. So let's just have a look at the game in build mode. I'll pause the video and compile it for us. All right, so here we are. This is in the build mode of the game, so it's a lot smoother than you see in the editor. It's a lot more zoomed out than the final version of the game is going to be. Actually, I'm not 100% sure about what do you guys think of it being so zoomed out. I don't think that's what I'm aiming for. It's a bit smaller. I'm thinking about twice as zoomed in as what we see there. You got your wall jumps. You can climb up ladders, slide down them. These are one-wave platforms I showed you last video. You got some windows that will obviously show out a background, but there's no background image there at the moment. These are the razor doors operating a timer. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just like Phantom Menace. Obi-Wan going through to fight Darth Maul. All right, so we can get through them. And here's our water in glorious full screen. And it's probably shimmering a little bit more than realistic, but I'll play around with that. We can jump in, have a bit of a swim. Dive down. There are spikes you can hit, and you can see our health bar goes up and down as well. I keep promising the lighting. I'm going to show you the lighting in a future video. It kind of looks really cool, but so I want to kind of show it off on a video all of its own. All right, so there we have it. That's the update for week 4. As I was saying earlier, it's a challenging process. I'm having a lot of fun with it and getting a hang of Unity and Corgi and all the exciting new tools I have to play with. And a lot of old Unity knowledge is actually coming back to me from when I built Dark Rolls about 4.5 years ago. I actually got, not great with Unity, but, proficient enough back then. So a lot of that knowledge is coming back, which is handy. But there's not enough hours in the day. There's so many things I want to do with this, and I get pulled in all directions. I'll start working on the UI and the health bar, then I'll start tinkering around with the water, and then I'll muck around with some sprites, and then I'll do some collision stuff. And that's how a lot of solo developers work. Rather than focusing on one particular task, they kind of flip between many, whatever works for you. We're still a long way from completion, but I think a lot of good progress is being made. So next video, I don't know what I'll have to show you, because I've actually got to work on another secret Swords and Sandals related project, which we'll be announcing soon over the next week and a half. So I don't know if there'll be any interesting updates to Spartacus then, but in the next video, I hope to have perhaps an enemy to see, or at least you want you to be able to smash up the torches and affect the lighting, and that's when I'll probably show you the lighting of the game, plus a few other cool traps and things. So I want to add as many traps to the game as I can, and maybe some doors. All right, thank you for joining me for Spartacus Game Dev Update. I posted a tweet about this game yesterday, and I got a great response, and that's really encouraging. So it's cool to see people are keen on Spartacus, and the artwork is awesome, thanks to Brulov, my friend in the Ukraine who's doing the art for the game, and I'm just trying to do a bit of justice, with my game design skills. All right, everybody, thank you for joining me today. Have a wonderful week, and bye for now.